Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Battle for Azeroth pre-patch. And I wanted to do a state of on Survival Hunter. Now that I have played Survival a little bit on live, mainly for the reason that I had said in my state of for Hunter that I didn't understand what Blizzard was trying to do with survival. I didn't understand the concept, I guess. After playing around with it a little bit, I still don't understand the concept. I have to wonder if I wasn't wrong taking a look at it in beta. I did play through the Horde campaign as Survival Hunter. I played on a Magnahar orc. And I said up front that I didn't like melee classes, so as a disclaimer that my opinion might be might be biased towards range and the other specs of Hunter. The interesting thing, the thing I would note, is that at least in PvP, I have done surprisingly well using only the ranged abilities. Serpent Sting, Wildfire Bomb, and I took Murder of Crows, because it's a pretty decent, if not overpowered, PvP ability. And I kind of tweaked some of these talents, and I am doing not terrible DPS. At least I think every game I've played has been between 100 and I want to say 120 and close to 160,000. So that's not bad. When I look, it's about half of what the other. If there's been any other hunters in the group, it's about half the DPS they've done as marksmanship or beast mastery. I'm seeing a lot of marksmanship in PvP at the moment. So this setup that I have here is how I got, was what I had when I got my highest DPS so far. I had terms of engagement, first of all. I think I'm a little disappointed that Harpoon doesn't stun the target anymore. It does root them in place. I specifically went out and got a spider pet just so I had the web ability. Yeah, I played around with this before I did anything. In PvP or anything, I went to I found a training dummy and just kind of messed around with some of these talents, and I set it back up like the best way I knew how, kind of. Not really for PvP. The only thing I took for PvP was a Murder of Crows, just because it's about the highest damage dealer. It has about the highest damage in for PvP. So, you know, I was kind of torn between these. I had Terms of Engagement first. Alpha Predator I think is better because Kill Command's a ranged ability, providing your pet is within range to use it. But you have a 50-yard range to command them to attack. So, yeah, not too bad. I thought Hydrobite would be better. I kind of went back and forth with these. The Guerrilla Tactics was what I originally took in, I think is what I originally took in beta. This just, there was rarely ever a target that this, sets fire to additional, fires arrows at 2 additional enemies near your target. There just was rarely, that was rarely ever the case, and I found myself spamming this anyway. This is where you get a lot of your DPSs with Serpent Sting, I'm noticing. So I took Guerrilla Tactics and started spamming Wildfire Bomb along with Serpent Sting, and yeah, that seems to be working well. So, Murder of Crows, of course, I think that's probably these 3: Serpent Sting, Wildfire Bomb, and Murder of Crows, I would say, are going to be your 3 big damage dealers. I played around with Mongoose Bite and Tip of the Spear. Mongoose Bite just seems to work better. Its attack is, I think, like 100 less than Raptor Strike. However, it stacks up. So this seemed better. And this is just another ability, and I have too many abilities down here already. So I had Bird's Prey, thinking, oh well, that would make sense. This rarely ever actually came in useful because I was spamming Serpent Sting. I didn't know which target my pet was on, because every time I would apply Serpent Sting to a new target, my pet would run to the new target. So my pet was running as anybody who plays a pet class knows, in PvP your pets tend to have a mind of their own. They just start running around, especially in groups. They just start running around and attacking everything. So, Wildfire Infusion, I just don't think is very good for, in general, but especially for PvP. So I took Chakrams just by default, and this isn't great. I think to really get the most out of this, you have to have multiple targets. I feel like I'm wasting it using it on one target. But it was another ranged ability, so the actual only melee ability you end up with, and this was what I kind of found interesting, is Mongoose Bite. So survival as a melee hunter is still more a ranged class than a melee class, which was what I said in beta. I didn't understand why they took away flanking strike, and things like that. Now your mastery, you and your pets focus spending abilities deal X increased damage while your pet is active. You both regain 2% maximum health over 5 seconds. So yeah. So I don't. Yeah. Yeah, so I've been really surprised by how well I've done, and I've played. My playing has been awful on survival. As I said, I made a new hunter specifically for to play survival when Legion came out. I looked at it, before the expansion launched, and it just wasn't something. It just wasn't. I just wasn't interested in it. So I ended up playing. I ended up playing marksmanship for most of Legion. Did most of Argus on that. So this tune is one of my better geared tunes in Legion. So I think that probably had something to do with it. So I was just expecting to, I just wanted to kind of play around with it since they had made some changes just by comparison. And I was really surprised by how well I did for no more than what I was doing. I rarely ever went. I rarely ever used harpoon. Rarely ever was actually in melee range, and I just kept spamming Serpent Sting. Used kill command when I could. Wildfire Bomb. Murder of Crows. I mean, just kind of running through what, trying to find a rotation here, and yeah, I died a lot, which usually in the games you die. Often your DPS can be lower, and yeah, like I said, about 120 to about 160 each game, which wasn't the top DPS in most of those games was over 300. Then there were a couple people at maybe just like 2-3 at 200k, and then everybody else was kind of mid higher 100k. So I was lower on the I was lower about in the middle side of DPS. Still, though, for no more than I did, I jokingly said that this reminded me of what people said about Death Knights, that you didn't even know how to play the class and you'd still do decent DPS. That is literally what happened here. So if I really try to put effort into using Mongoose Fight and trying to play this quote unquote properly as a melee hunter, I'm sure I could get that up to kind of par with what I've been seeing everybody else do. So, and as I said, if there was a hunter in the group, or in the game, I should say, in the battleground, by comparison, I was doing about half of what they were. So that's not too. I find if you can kind of compare with not other DPS per se, but other classes in PvP, that kind of helps give you a meter for, okay, what am I doing wrong? Do I need to switch something out? It just I've never been one that's went after high DPS. I've always went more to I've always played more for fun. However, I want to be efficient, though. I don't want to be a hindrance to whichever team I'm on. So, yeah. So there you go, folks. Not too bad. I could see myself maybe playing this to level. I'm having fun in PvP. I don't know how short-lived that's going to be, though. So, yeah, so there you go. There's a little kind of an update video for you on the state of Survival Hunter. So hope you enjoyed that, and thank you for watching.